Mike Radich here, and I'm now joined on the phone by Lion Fight Middleweight Ky Hollenbeck. Ky, how are you?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me.
Sure, no problem. Thanks for doing it. Ky, the name of the game is really random. That's where I ask you a random question and you give me the real answer. Some of these questions are custom made just for you, and some of these questions are generic ones that I ask all the people I interview. So, Here's the first question. Superpower you'd love to have?
Teleportation, man. When I was a kid, I watched X-Men, and I saw Nightcrawler. I was like, I want that. So, I feel like there's a lot of good ways you can utilize that. I'd say teleportation.
Favorite movie?
Boondock Saints.
Movie you've seen the most times?
Oh, man. Probably Frozen, for my little niece.
Favorite color?
Red.
Favorite guilty pleasure?
Probably Cuban sandwich.
Ky, you got a fight coming up July 8th at Lion Fight 30. How's training been going for the fight?
It's been going good, man. We have over at CSA, we got a ton of good guys here. Kevin Ross, Gaston Bolanos, Diego, Eddie, I can name a bunch of different names. We also have one of the guys here training with us, Lam Samkram, is in the States helping us. He's been here for the past couple weeks and helping my fight camp, and I've been learning a ton from him. So it's been a really good camp.
I heard a rumor that your opponent for this fight, Mark Holst, was not the first name that was offered to you. Is that true? And if so, who was your original opponent?
They were addition of a few different names, trying to determine what type of fight it was going to be, or what they wanted to make sure it was the right fight for them, I guess. I really don't. Whoever they put in front of me is the person I'm going to fight. So they had named a couple of names, guys from Europe, a couple of guys, local guys, some Thai guys, just kind of putting their feelers out, seeing what was available, and I guess Mark was the one that they ended up choosing. It was really, again, to me, it's not going to make all that much of a difference. The guy that you put in front of me, it's going to be the same. I'm going to be the same person going into it. So whether it's going to be Mark or even whoever they're going to put in front of me, I mean, I didn't really have a say in who. I mean, I guess I have a little bit of a say, but it didn't really matter to me. I kind of let that logistically happen with other people and whoever they put in front of me. I just said, sure, let's make it happen as long as I'm fighting.
What are your thoughts about Mark as an opponent?
He's a tough guy. He fought Kevin a long time ago back on, took a fight short notice and ended up losing that fight to Mark back a couple, must have been 6 or 7 years ago, 8 or 9 years ago. So there's a little bit in my head that kind of wants a little bit of redemption for that, but Mark's a good guy, man, good fighter. He's got a solid knowledge base. He's a jiu-jitsu guy, Muay Thai guy, so similar to me. I mean, I have my brown belt in jiu-jitsu. I have been training Muay Thai for a long, long time, so similar skills. He's a little bit taller than I am, but I've always fought taller guys, so excited, man. He's going to be a good guy, fun guy to have go in there and have some fun with.
How much insight has Kevin Ross given to you for what you're up against on July 8th? Or because it was such a long time ago, there isn't really a whole lot to go off of? You know, how much has Kevin Ross helped you try to come up with a game plan for this fight?
I mean, like you said, it happened so long ago. Right. I'm sure Mark's a different fighter, Kevin's a different fighter, so I mean, it's I mean, anything you would tell me it wouldn't really be beneficial to me, I don't think. He said, 10 years ago when he was, Kevin went into that fight pretty underweight too, so I mean, he would say, it's hard, but I mean, it's all relative, especially because Kevin, I think, was like 130, and during that fight, I think he fought, when he fought Mark was like 155, 160, so there was a substantial weight difference, so I don't think the stuff he would be able to tell me would be that beneficial. I mean, I've watched a couple of Mark's fights, but I think anything anybody ever tells you, you have to take with a grain of salt, because everybody fights different styles, make fights. It's not fighters don't make fights, styles make fights. You can fight one way against Kevin, and I'm sure he fight a different way against me, because me and Kevin have completely different styles. So, I mean, I don't take anything away from anybody I fight. I mean, if Kevin told me to, I think the only thing he could tell me would be, hey, go hard with this guy. You got to get everything you got. But I do that all the time. So I don't think nothing you said has been something that would make me alter my game plan. So
You're no stranger to big fights. You fought in the main event before. You fought for titles. You fought on TV. Because you've been in so many big fights, and because you're once again going to be fighting on live TV and in a main event, does this fight feel as big as the other big fights that you've been in? Does it feel the same?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really look at fights. You put me in a ring against everybody's the same. Once we step in that ring, everything fades away. So, to fight in front of 20,000 people or fight in front of a gymnasium of people, it doesn't really change anything, like a high school gymnasium or 10,000 people in at Madison Square Garden or whatever. It doesn't. Once you're in that ring, and that's all that really matters at that point. So, I think there's you have to have that ability to kind of tune everything else out, and that way the fight is the same. It's always going to be the same, no matter where it is or who you're fighting or how many people are watching. Or I mean, if you have that, if you've already lost the mental game, if you're going into it thinking, oh, yeah, this one's way more important because of this, or I have to win this one because of this. If you just go in there, I'm going to fight the way I fight every other fight, because it's not any different once the bell rings, and once we're in that ring, everything else fades away. It's just me and him. So regardless of if it's 10 people watching or 60,000 people watching, whoever it is. So I think the next fight's always the most important. So this one is very important to me, and I plan to give it the respect that it deserves and treat it as if it's the most important fight I've ever had in my life, because right now it is. Give it any more or less gravity than any other fight I've ever had.
In the past, for a good amount of your fights, you've been the underdog going into the fight. This time around, you're viewed as the favorite coming into this fight because Mark Holst, he is coming in, I guess, on relatively short notice. I've heard rumors that he wasn't your original opponent, and also he hasn't fought since his last fight against Cosmo Alexander 2 years ago, so he's been away for a long time, and you're on a 2-fight win streak, and in North America, for Muay Thai, you're as big as it gets. You know, a lot of people know about you, a lot of people are fans of you, and you're a big name in Muay Thai in America, so you're opening as the favorite going into this fight. Now, because in the past you've been the underdog many, many times, is this a welcome change? Do you like being the favorite, or would you prefer not having that pressure and being the underdog?
I've been, most of my career has been underdog, but, I mean, that's how you build, that's how it works. You work your way up from the underdog to the favorite, so, I mean, if I'm the favorite for this fight, I don't think favorite is a little, again, they're all relative terms. A favorite is, I'm supposed to win, but, I mean, you never know. I don't think I'm supposed to win. I don't think I'm supposed to lose. I think I'm supposed to go in there and fight, and then, that, again, it doesn't really, the gravity of that really doesn't faze me, because somebody calls me the favorite, that's just their opinion. Somebody calls me the underdog, again, it's just their opinion. And the only thing that really matters is once that bell rings, who's going to showcase that they're the better fighter. And so, I mean, I don't really give it any clout for you're the favorite, you're the underdog. I mean, I never have. If I had, I wouldn't have gotten to where I was, because I was always the underdog and you're supposed to lose. So if I'm the favorite and I'm supposed to win, if I give that clout, it doesn't bode well for me. So I don't plan on doing that. I don't think I'm I'm the underdog. I don't think I'm the favorite. I just think I'm fighting Mark, and that's the only thing that matters, and all that other stuff is just outside people's perspective. So as long as I don't let it faze me, it's not going to faze me.
This will be your third straight fight for Lion Fight. You fought for them in the past, so this will be your third straight, but fifth overall, because you fought for Lion Fight before they were on Access TV, then you went away, you fought for Glory, and now you've come back to Lion Fight. So your fifth overall fight, but third in a row. How many fights do you have left on your contract with Lion Fight?
So with Lion Fight, it's always, I think we've been going on I think this will be my last contracted, but we've been going kind of on a fight-by-fight basis. So we've been pretty good about that. But yeah, I mean, it just depends on what the next fight is and where my career has taken me. So if there's another fight in line with Lion Fight, I'm sure we'll make it happen. I just have to wait and see. It's one of those things like hurry up and wait kind of thing. I'm going to do this next fight. That's all I really have my mind set on, and after that, we can start talking about negotiations for a different fight or figure out what my next step is.
Right now, there's a lot of options. There's Lion Fight, there's Glory, there's Bellator Kickboxing. If you're a stand-up fighter, there's more options now than there's ever been. Did you ever think that you'd be an active fighter and this boom would happen? Because you had to have known when you were coming up in the sport that you were going to be a trailblazer and you were going to be the pioneer of this thing, but did you ever think you were going to be still fighting when we see this boom period happen?
I had hope. I think when we first got started, that whole Can't Stop Crazy crew kind of helped Muay Thai America. We stopped fighting. We stopped fighting internally and started thinking, all right, well, let's take America and try and put ourselves against international guys. Like, let's stop fighting with each other. Let's take the high-level guys and try and put them against high-level guys from other countries and try and make ourselves a legitimate threat in the Muay Thai scene. And I think that has helped spur a lot of people into getting into the sport, and promoters have jumped on it, and I think people realize, like, people watch MMA and, like, their favorite thing is the striking, so why not go to something that's just that? I mean, then you don't have to, if your favorite part of MMA is striking, then newsflash, you're going to love stand-up. So I think that all that stuff and the guys that kind of helped pave the way, Kevin Ross, Joe Schilling, Chaz Mulkey, Romy Adonja, Tiffany Masseuse, all those people that have kind of worked their way up and put that grind in, put their time in to make this sport recognizable here in America, have really helped to develop it and turn it into what it is now. So I feel fortunate that it has gone the way it has, and I hope it continues, and I hope it continues to grow, and that the future generations actually have a legitimate sport that they can do, and it's not just going to be always for the love of it. They can actually make a good living doing it too.
Why Muay Thai as opposed to boxing or mixed martial arts? Because this sport, now it's gaining traction and it's a little bit more popular because Lion Fight has come along and put shows on TV, but for a very long time when you were fighting, there was nothing in it for the athletes. There was no fame because there wasn't a platform on TV and there were no crowds. And then there's also, because there's no crowds and no TV, there isn't a lot of money. So basically you're fighting only for pride and glory. Why Muay Thai as opposed to a different combat sport?
It originally started with the ability to travel. I was given options to go fight internationally in Muay Thai, and I jumped at the opportunity and found success in it, and realized that the more I did it, the more I fell in love with it, not just the sport itself, but the fan base and the knowledge base of the fans. When I did MMA, it was you kind of noticed that a lot of the crowd just was like, "Yeah, fuck him up, beat his ass." Like, they didn't really have a solid understanding of what the sport really was. They just wanted to see somebody get beat up. And so if you went into, when I did Muay Thai, and there was actually people had a knowledge base, they'd see the clench and they'd know what was going on. They could actually appreciate the sport more, I think, and then that appreciation kind of flows over into after competition. People would come up and pay respect, and there's a lot more of that tradition, I would say, or something that made it feel more substantial to me than MMA did, and I just kind of fell in love with it. And the high level guys that you get to fight there's more guys, I think, in Muay Thai that are high level as opposed to MMA has a lot of guys, but some of the guys aren't as good as other. I mean, there's a handful of really, really good guys, and then there's a huge pool of mediocre guys that are really good at one thing but not good at anything else. So I'd rather be exceptional at one thing than mediocre at everything. So I think that was another deciding factor for me.
I know you said you're not looking beyond this fight. You're just solely focused on Mark Holst and what you got to do on July 8th. But just let me ask this one question. Do you have any plans on doing other sports? Like, are you just going to do Muay Thai, or are you still open to, let's say, if Glory says, hey, we want you to come fight for us again, or Bellator comes in and says, hey, come fight for us, would you like to go back to doing kickboxing, or are you going to stick with Muay Thai?
It really just kind of depends on where the opportunities present themselves. To be honest, if there was a good opportunity that presented itself with Glory, sure. If there was a good opportunity that presented itself with Bellator doing kickboxing and then potentially MMA, I'm open to all possibilities as long as I get to push myself and test myself and yeah, exactly. Push myself, test myself every day, compete against people that I think would push me to new levels. I want to do that. So wherever those opportunities present themselves, if it's with Lion Fight or Bellator or Glory, wherever the opportunities are, I'm gonna do my best to make myself available soon.
Do you like kickboxing? Because obviously it's a very similar sport to the sport you come from, Muay Thai. Obviously there's a lot of similarities, but at the same time, there are some major differences. So, do you like kickboxing? Are you a fan of fighting under K1 rules?
I think my style lends itself to Muay Thai in that I have more tools at my disposal, and my style is very, very, I don't know, what's a good word? Non-traditional, let's say that. Where a good amount of my stuff is utilized in the confusion of getting someone to think I'm doing something and then doing something else, or using moves to set up other moves. And the more moves I have in my toolbox, the better I am at tricking people. So, and making people guess. So I think the more tools I have in my toolbox, the more efficient I am with my style. So I think Muay Thai lends itself to that. I'm not to say I don't like kickboxing or I wouldn't want to do kickboxing, but again, like I said, the tools in my toolbox are way more. I have a much bigger toolbox with Muay Thai than I do with kickboxing.
Hobbies outside of fighting?
Man, I play music. I surf. I work as a paramedic. What else? I cook a lot. When I started cutting weight for fights, I started learning how to cook, and then I'd feed it to other people. So it's like a way of being around food without actually eating it. Yeah, that's about it, man. I'm boring.
Do you have any pre-fight rituals or superstitions?
I always take a shower right before my fight and go through like a ritual, like shave. I have a straight razor that I use, like an old school straight razor shave. I used to eat fucking horrible. I used to have a chicken fried steak before every fight. I stopped doing that because it's just not good for my belly, man. But there's a couple other ones, but yeah, I think two is good enough. I don't want people thinking I got OCD stuff going on before my fights.
Well, you are a Muay Thai practitioner, and Muay Thai is a very superstitious sport. Do you have any post-fight rituals?
Yeah, if I'm not too beat up. I mean, I get cut sometimes. I got sharp features, so
right.
I get cut sometimes. But so usually, if I'm not getting stitched up, I go out. We always talk about let's go out and grab a drink, but it always ends up being go eat and then fall asleep. So if I'm feeling up for it, I did drink a whiskey after a fight. Besides
fighting, what are you passionate about?
Like I said, I work as a paramedic, so I'm passionate about that. I'm also working to become a firefighter, so passionate about that kind of stuff. Family, friends. I mean, that's mainly what I dedicate my stuff to when I'm not in the gym. I'm trying to be with friends and family and enjoying the little things that you don't really get to see all the time when you're constantly in the gym getting work in.
What motivates you in life and in fighting?
I think it's probably the same. Just trying to push myself to be the best that I can or whatever it is that I do. I've always wanted to be like anyone that's ever been okay with being mediocre. That's never been my mentality. I don't want to be just okay at something. If I start something, I need to be at the best that I can be at it. So that's my driving force. I tell myself every day I want to be better. I want to be able to look at the person I was yesterday and say I'm better than you, and this is why. Whether that's because of Muay Thai or because of I learned something, whatever it is that I learned that made me better that day, or whatever it is that I can do that made me better that day. I think that mentality kind of is my driving force. I always want to be better than I was yesterday, so whatever it takes to get that. And if that's my mentality and I'm constantly pushing myself, I'm constantly going to be improving. So,
favorite food?
That Cuban sandwich, I'd probably say is probably my favorite thing. Like, if I'd take that every day of the week if somebody gave it to me.
Least favorite food?
I hate beets.
Favorite restaurant?
There's a little Puerto Rican spot right by my house called Parada 22. It's pretty legit.
Favorite band and or solo artist?
I don't know. I was listening to Atmosphere all day today, so let's go with that.
Favorite TV show, and it can be a show currently on the air or a show no longer on the air, just overall favorite TV show. You ever met the animated series, Batman the Animated Series, back when it was in like the 90s? Love it.
When I was a kid.
Yeah, love it. I still watch it today. Yeah. Like, I have them on DVD. Great stuff.
It's a legit show.
If you could trade places with anyone in the world for a week, who would you trade places with and why?
Trade faces with Donald Trump, and I'd give all my money to my family, to the Hollenbeck family. That way I can have some easy living afterwards. I could just focus on fighting, not have to worry about anything else.
If you could stay one age forever, how old would you stay, and why?
Somewhere in the 20s. I'm 29 right now. Starting to feel a little too old. Maybe 24, 25, right in the middle. That'd be a good age to stay forever. That way I could rent a car, I could drink. I'm still young enough. I think I'd be a solid age, 25.
Are you married, engaged, dating, or single and ready to mingle?
I just got out of a long-term relationship, so I'm single and not looking to mingle just yet. Just single and focused on fighting.
You've got some tattoos. How many do you have, and what are the meanings behind some of these tattoos?
So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got a Papa Chet on my left arm, on my right arm, excuse me, and that's just a tattoo of a Papa Chet, the blessing, the armband, the tie that fighters wear. I have a sun on my back, and inside it's tie writing that says Nakrop, which is like Mak Moy would be a Muay Thai fighter. Nakrop is like a warrior, like a war fighter. So instead of fight Muay Thai, I fight wars. I have a Muay Thai fighter on my rib. It takes up my whole rib, a little Muay Thai fighter. My sleeve is probably the one people see the most, and that's Japanese water, and inside it's tribal animals. One's a turtle on my back, shark on my side, on my forearm, and an octopus around my lower arm. And shark, the turtle, because it was supposed to be, when I lived in Hawaii for a while, shark, turtle for wisdom, shark for ferocity, and octopus is for change, the ability to adapt, and then also because it's Muay Thai style, 8 limbs, got the octopus for that. And then the last one is a little can't stop crazy symbol. I was the first one to kind of start doing that, and then after that, everybody else followed suit. So I was a catalyst for all the can't stop crazy guys getting the tattoo. Joe had the words can't stop crazy, the little equal sign with an X to it. I was the first one to get that, and then we all kind of made that our unofficial symbol. And that was I have that, Kev has that, Joe has that, Chaz has that, Tiffany has it. But yeah, it's supposed to no equal. Because for me, I take it as if I push myself hard enough, I can be the best. I can have no equal as long as I push myself to do it.
Ky, is that your full name, or is that short for something?
Yeah, Ky's my full name. I get that all the time, yeah. Just KY.
Where did your parents come up with that name?
My mom wanted to call me Micaiah, and my dad didn't like that. My dad wanted to call me Ariel, which is, I guess, some sprite from some Shakespeare play. But I'm glad they didn't go with that. That would have been rough for the Little Mermaid came out. But yeah, Ky was just a compromise, I guess. It's Gaelic, means like a river, like straight of water. It's kind of like abbreviated for Kyle. But yeah, on my birth certificate, just Ky.
What would you rather be? Would you rather be the best fighter in the world, or would you rather be the highest paid fighter in the world? What means more to you, glory or wealth? Glory, by far. I mean, if I was doing it for the money, I'd have been a lawyer or something. I think that this sport has showed me that money comes and goes. You're going to be able to make. I mean, you'll be able to live comfortably on not a whole lot, but being able to look at yourself in the mirror every day and say, yeah, I'm as good as I think I am, and I know who I am because I pushed myself to those limits and seeing it. A lot of people never get that chance to see the type of person that they really are. They never get tested in that capacity. So being able to look at your true self after a really tough fight, or in the middle of a tough fight, and being able to say, all right, yeah, my true self is somebody that I like and that I can respect. It means a whole lot more to me than being rich and famous. Why did you never unify the WBC middleweight belt? I may be talking to the wrong person about that, man. I was always willing to. I always thought that would be the next fight after I got the interim, and then I fight Lidan, or I don't even know who has it anymore. It just, for whatever reason, never panned out. Again, like I said, you offer me a fight, I'll take it. So I guess the fight just never got offered. But I would have loved to
unify it or do whatever we could to make that happen, but it just never worked out.
How many belts do you have?
I believe I have 5 world titles and about half a dozen other international, North America, those kind of titles. So there's like 11.
Do you have a favorite?
I like the WBC. I have a interim WMC, or intercontinental, not interim, intercontinental WMC, which I'm pretty fond of. They're all good. Again, belts to me, they're great. I love having them. I mean, it's validation for the hard work you put in, but at the end of the day, it's just a belt. I mean, it only means as much as you lend credibility to it. So, I love them all. I'm happy I have them, and I'm happy to represent the organizations that I do have them for. But if I didn't have them, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, because I'm still the same person that I am without them. So.
Will you ever dye your hair again, or did you retire that after the Petrosian fight?
Yeah, that was something I wish I could take back. I saw Kevin used to do it all the time. I was like, yeah, I'll be like that. I can do that too. But yeah, it was a regrettable choice. Mm-hmm. I think if I ever did it again, it would be not that look. That was a rough look. It looked like I was bald on the top with a sunburn on the top of my head, the red and the white.
Yeah, that was a rough night for you.
Yeah, it was.
That's probably not a good night to remember. You lost the fight and you lost an ACL.
Well, so now I associate ACL tears with hair dyeing, so I don't think I'll ever do it again.
Yeah, you lost the fight and you lost an ACL, all because of some hair dye. God.
That's all. It was the hair dye's fault. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with. You never did it up until then you do it, and there it is. So
exactly.
What's your pet peeve?
Hypocritical people, probably. Somebody, you know what? People who don't make weight. I'm gonna get on a soapbox. I have a big thing about, because I've never not made weight in the past couple weeks or months or so. It seems like more and more people are missing weight, like substantially, not just by a pound, but like 3 or 4 pounds, and like nothing makes me more frustrated than when somebody doesn't make weight.
If you could go on a $1 million shopping spree at any store, what store would you go on that $1 million shopping spree at?
Probably something that has like the most stuff. Walmart, maybe.
Right.
I got a bunch of options.
Yeah. Some people are afraid of spiders. Some people are afraid of heights. Some people are afraid of the dark. What are you afraid of?
Things sound all morbid. Being paralyzed was something I was always terrified of. That'd probably be it. Being unable to take care of myself the way that I do now.
This will be a good question. Favorite social media platform?
None an option.
I noticed that. I noticed that you abandoned Twitter. It's been like a couple years since you tweeted. That's why I had to ask you. What happened?
Yeah, so I don't feel like my life is interesting enough that everybody needs to know everything about me all the time. I do Instagram every once in a while because it's easy as taking a picture. It's not even me most of the time. Somebody else takes a picture and I'll just repost it. But I think my life is better spent training for me anyways. I think people I don't know if people would be as interested in me if I told them all the boring shit I was doing. But also with my goals in becoming like doing the paramedic stuff and all that stuff, if it gets out that I'm doing something that I shouldn't be doing, or somehow social media has I've seen social media take a lot of people down trying to get jobs in the fire service or the paramedic service. Mm-hmm. So I try to keep my footprint pretty small.
Website you visit most often?
YouTube. I watch Thai videos a lot on there. I watch YouTube.
Piece of technology you can't live without?
My foam roller. It counts as technology, right?
Sure.
It's technically made. Yeah. My body's a bunch of years doing this. You got to be able to roll out all the injuries that I got.
What's your hidden talent?
I'm a pretty proficient musician. I play piano, guitar, ukulele. I'm relatively good at most of them.
Person you look up to the most?
Probably my dad. He's a professor. Pretty opposite ends of the spectrum in comparison to me. But he takes care of his family. That's his main goal in life, is to make sure his family's whole. So I got to respect the man who puts family above everything else.
I've noticed in a lot of your pre-fight interviews and stuff like that, you're always wearing glasses. When you're fighting, how well can you see?
So I use them. I'm nearsighted, so I can't see things far away. So, I use them. I need them. But during a fight, it's kind of beneficial not to have them, because then, things might be a little bit blurry, but I think you pick up on movement a lot better. So if I see movement, somebody's hand moving, I notice it a lot quicker, I think. So, but yeah, I do need them. I used to, if you talk to Romeo Dons, he calls me Clark Kent, and then takes the glasses off to become Superman.
When you're out and about, just hanging out or going to the store or something, do you wear contacts?
Sometimes. I usually wear glasses because it's just easier, and I hate contacts.
I could never do that. If I needed glasses, it would be glasses. I don't like anything touching my eye. If I get an eyelash in my eye, I'm down for the count. It's terrible, terrible.
Understandable.
Time period you'd like to go back and visit, and why?
Renaissance-ish time, or even before that, like where no technology and like people actually talk to each other instead of talking to their social media. I think going back and I think that was pretty dope.
Go-to song when you're singing in the shower?
Or you know what? It's probably something like Ed Sheeran song right there. That's actually what it is. There's a song. It's an Irish lullaby, or it's an Irish song called "The Parting Glass." I sing that one all the time in the shower.
Best advice you were ever given through life, and best advice you were ever given through fighting, and who gave it to you?
Best advice in fighting would be just go in there and fuck shit up, man. You'll be fine. And that was Kevin Ross that said that. And he says it pretty much whenever anybody has any kind of doubt in themselves. Every time, anytime you have a fight coming up, there's always that little bug in the back of your head, like, oh man, you training hard enough, you doing this, and Kevin's always quick to say, hey man, you're gonna be fine. Just go in there and fuck shit up. You'll be alright. And I think that's solid advice. If you ever start to doubt yourself, just remember, just go do it. Stop worrying about it. Best advice, life would be my dad, and it would be just be your best self. Like, don't try to be everybody else, what everybody else wants you to be. Just be the best that you can be. Whatever it is that you are, be the best at it.
What do you worry about? What's something that keeps you up at night?
Probably not seeing my friends as much as I'd like to. I don't get to see my friends and family as much as I'd like to because I'm in the gym a lot training, so my social life takes a hit sometimes, so that doesn't keep me up really, but it's something I think about trying to go out of my way to make time for friends and family, because they're the most important thing to me.
Let's say you found a magic lamp, and you rubbed that magic lamp, and a genie appeared, and the genie said he was going to grant you 3 wishes. What would those 3 wishes be?
Good health for me and my family, always. Financially stable, and not have to worry about that. Then I can start focusing on, you can focus on anything else you wanted to. And then more wishes. No, everybody says that, right? Genuine happiness would be good. I'm easy, man. I think if I could feel whatever it is that makes me feel genuinely happy, like find the thing that makes me the most. If I had money and health, I'd want to be able to, whatever it is that makes me genuinely the most happy, and do that. I have the ability to do that forever.
Number 1 thing on your bucket list?
Get a full-time position as a firefighter, paid firefighter, paramedic firefighter.
What's the best thing that ever happened to you?
Getting into Muay Thai when I was young was probably the best thing that ever happened to me, because I could have gone down a much different route in life, and I think that Muay Thai definitely changed me and turned me into the person I am today, changed me for the better, and turned me into the person I am today. So I think without that, my life would be a lot different. What's
the worst thing that ever happened to you?
Say probably the worst injury. That ACL injury was pretty tough on me. I don't know if, kind of just talking off the random things I'm just thinking off the top of my head.
Right, sure.
That was pretty rough on me, because it was one of those. Before that, that I had never had significant injury. Like, I'd never had something that was, I broke my legs when I was a kid and like that kind of stuff, but that was like the first time in my career that I ever had a debilitating injury that took me out for months. And that was bad because it kind of took me to that dark place where I was like, fuck, man, is this, like, you're not Superman, you're not invincible, like, you potentially could get hurt, and like this could, and that realization, like having to overcome that realization and realize that, yeah, that could happen, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen, and you can't let that control you. But I mean, for the first couple months about it, it was pretty devastating for sure.
If you could change one thing about the world, what would you change and why?
I think I would get rid of cell phones. I like the idea of, I liked when I was a kid and I went outside and you went to your friend's house, like, hey, is Tom home? Nope, he's out riding his bike. And then Tom was gone. He's out in the ether. There's no way to get to him. If you want to find him, you got to go look for him. Mm-hmm. I miss that. I miss not being as accessible as, like, everybody can reach everybody, which is nice and sometimes, mm-hmm. but it's kind of nice to not have to, people not checking their phones all the time, people not worried about living their life through a screen. I think no cell phones might be, or maybe no smartphones. Maybe just tiny little phone calls, like flip phones. Everyone has flip phones where you don't want to sit on your flip phone and talk forever. Right. I feel like I'm on a high horse talking all this shit about technology. Like, okay, we got to get rid of all this technology. No, but I mean, I think genuine human interaction is something that I would rather have. So I think without the less technology, the better, the more interaction.
Last question, Ky. Let's say you were on death row and about to be executed. What would your last meal be? And I need an entree, a dessert, and a beverage. What would your last meal be?
Entree would be, well, shit, if I'm going to die, let's make it something good, man. I'm not worried about calories or anything like that. Beef Wellington with, like, some loaded mashed potatoes, like the bacon and the chives and everything in there. And a Hawaiian pizza for my entree, and then desserts. Probably the Thai roti. That's like the sugary crepe kind of thing with coconut ice cream on top. I think that would be pretty good. And then beverage, the bottle of Middleton Jameson whiskey, like the high-end Jameson. It's a $130 bottle of whiskey. It's the best whiskey I've ever drank. So, yeah.
Ky, real quick before I let you go, do you have any sponsors you'd like to thank, and is there anything you want to say to the fans?
Sure. Action Fight Gears is one of my sponsors. On It is another one. Triumph, they have been in the past, so I'll rep them out. And yeah, to the fans, just tune in. I appreciate everything you guys do for the sport and watching and supporting. And yeah, tune in for, you guys are going to see some. I'm sure, like I said, you're going to fight the best Ky Hollenbeck that there's ever been is going to be fighting this coming July 8th.
Ky, thank you for taking the time to talk. I really appreciate it. Good luck July 8th at Lion Fight 30 against Mark Holst.
Yes, sir.